The breaking news this morning, rivers in the western parts of Washington state are surging, shattering records and forcing people onto their roofs even to get to safety. There is new video coming from the Coast Guard rescuing 4 people. We're showing you it right here. The 4 people were inside. I mean, just look at the water levels. They were forced into the attic of this home, surrounded by 8 to 10 feet of water. The crew hoisting them up to safety one by one. That is part of what is becoming a big effort in this area. Floodwaters are reaching as high as 15 feet in places. Farmers on tractors, volunteer firefighters helping to rescue their neighbors in the midst of all of this. In one county, at least 33 people have been rescued over just the last day. Swift Water rescuers responded to dozens of calls, we're told, for help. This morning, they are keeping a very close watch on the Skagit River, which could hit a peak of more than 38 feet near Mount Vernon. The governor is warned late last night that this next 24 hours are most critical and potentially dangerous as they wait for the rivers to crest. CNN meteorologist Allison Chinchar is tracking all of this for us this morning. What is the situation right now, and what are you seeing for the rest of the day?
Right, so the situation is that we have an enormous amount of water that is just kind of sitting in place for some of these areas. Look at this video. Now, this portion of Washington is extremely far north, up near the Canadian border. You can see all of this water. I mean, this is normally a roadway that would be right through here, and it is entirely underwater because of not just the rain that has fallen, but a lot of the water that has kind of come out of the banks of some of the nearby rivers, creeks, and streams. And this is just one of many. We have several more rivers, creeks, and streams that are either at or above their flood stage right now and are expected to stay that way through at least the rest of the day today. So you look at all of these dots, or these tiny little squares on the map, and these indicate all of the river gauges that are either minor, moderate, or major flood stage, keeping in mind that some of them may not even crest until later on today or even perhaps very early Saturday morning. Now, one of the rivers we've been keeping a close eye on, this one here, the Skagit River near Mount Vernon. Again, you can see we don't know if it's still going to keep rising and by how much. The forecast crest is about 38.5 feet, but it's already at 37.7, which means we've already broken the previous record. At this point, anything above that really becomes a moot point. It's just going to continue to break its own record at this point. We've already seen the impacts from that in the form of a lot of those roads and streets just inundated by all of the water. The good news is we are seeing much less rain coming down at the moment. This is a look at the radar. This was much fuller yesterday morning when we were showing this to you. We still have rain out there, just not quite the volume that we were seeing at this same time just 24 hours ago. Now, you've also got a lot of the flood watches in effect, but some of these are also even in anticipation of the next event that's coming, because while we have less rain today, the rivers are slowly falling. We have heavier rain that will return on Sunday.
As critical rescue efforts in the Pacific Northwest continue to be and are already underway, rivers that were expected to reach major flood stage today have crested, we have learned this morning, and that is good news. But the very serious threat that this weather event has presented, it still remains. Flood waters have inundated communities in Washington state, forcing people even onto the rooftops to get to safety. One woman living along the Nooksack River describes what it has been like really facing this threat now for days.
All night we could hear trees coming down, crashing, boulders rolling in the water from inside the house.
That is Abby Yates. She lives in Whatcom County and is a member of the emergency response team for the Nooksack tribe. And she's joining us right now. Abby, thank you so much for being here. How are things going?
It's been a really stressful time for our community. Where I live on the Nooksack River is upriver from several of our communities here in Whatcom County. And so the river crested at my house yesterday morning, but it didn't crest downriver until I believe during the middle of the night. And I've had a lot of friends and family who have had to be evacuated. It's been very scary.
I mean, it's scary. It's terrifying. Just the video that that you've been kind of tracking how this has played out. That's scary enough. I can imagine that it's all the more scary, and it reaches a whole other level in the middle of the night as you're kind of dealing with this and facing this down. What has that been like?
Yeah, so I'm about a 30-second walk from the river from my back door, and my bedroom is on the backside of my house. And so all night, literally just trees coming down. There's a island on the river bar, and we lost, I mean, it had to have been probably at least 50 trees in the middle of the night 2 nights ago. It's calmed down a little bit last night, but it was still loud. You can literally hear these giant boulders going down, huge cedar trees going down the river. It's just really unbelievable.
The mayor of Orting was on with me yesterday, and he said one thing that people maybe don't appreciate is not just the level of flooding, but at least what he's seen, how fast the water is moving, which is why it is so dangerous. Are you seeing that too?
Yes, for sure. That I've never seen the water move this quickly. In the floods of 2021, it was higher at my home than it was this time, but the water was much faster this time.
You've lived on the banks of the Nooksack River most of your life, and you are a really integrated, and you are a member of the community there. What do you think this is going to mean for your community, and kind of once the waters finally start to recede, what people are going to be dealing with?
The things that I was hearing from people yesterday on our community groups online and from people I know is people literally just got their homes fixed or are still in the process of fixing their homes from the last major flood in 2021. And it's been really devastating to finally feel like they have their home back, they have that sense of security, and now they're starting all over again. I have a friend who didn't leave her home. She really thought it can't be as bad again. They just got their home fixed and their home was underwater and they were trapped there and had to be rescued. And so it's just, there's a lot of devastation, and it's going to take years and years to recover from this in our community.
Yeah, I mean, just an example from 2021, and they're still just now recovering, and what that now means. Our meteorologist was on earlier this hour and said that the rain is dissipating, but heavy rain, at least in certain places, is going to be picking back up on Sunday. What's your biggest concern?
My biggest concern, I live in Everson outside of city limits. There are at least a couple dozen homes that have been built up since the last floods, and that entire road was shut down again. And so, seeing just driving through yesterday and seeing the water for miles and miles, it was just really terrifying. And what I keep seeing from my friends in the flood zone is that they're just really scared. My own aunt, she had water up to her, almost to her door. And she said, if there's any more water that comes down from the sky, it will be back in their home. And they also just got their basement redone.
Oh my God. Story after story. Abby, thank you for what you do. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's nice to meet you. I'm so sorry it's under these circumstances.